So much. I really am delighted to know it's World Hamster Day. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I like to use the term multidimensional excellence to highlight an extraordinary idea, an exemplary organization, a championship sports team, or an outstanding leader. And today I am using the term to describe our speaker. Vanessa Bennett is the Chief Operations Officer for the Kingsport Chamber of Commerce. And in this position, she works closely with the leadership team to develop and implement organizational strategies, policies, and practices. In addition, she helps manage the organization's $5.4 million budget. She coordinates the logistics of many of the Kingsport Chamber's events and serves as a primary liaison between Kingsport's Chamber leadership and key business leaders. Vanessa is also the executive director of the Kingsport leadership programs. These programs include Leadership Kingsport, Peak, Young Professionals, Shout, Youth Leadership, Yell, Mayor's Youth Council, and Scream, Middle School Leadership. Her role is to develop community leaders for our city and for community organizations. Vanessa is also the co-host of a podcast, Leadership Live, that features conversations with community leaders, and she recently developed a new team, Lead Undivided, that focuses on justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community. Vanessa also oversees the education and workforce development initiatives for the Kingsport Chamber, including a program that she created called Project Hope. This program provides hope and encouragement to many students in our school systems. She also oversees a program that is very near to our heart, Healthy Kingsport, a program that is dedicated to creating a community that actively embraces healthy living and promotes wellness, enhancing the infrastructure, and helping to create an environment for healthy schools, healthy workplaces, and indeed a healthy community. In addition to her work with the Kingsport Chamber, Vanessa provides leadership by serving and having served as the immediate past chair for the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce Executives. And she's a former member of the Executive Committee and a board member for the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And ladies and gentlemen, she has membership in Leadership Tennessee Class number 9. Vanessa was appointed to the Board of Regents for the U.S. Chamber Institute for Organizational Management. And her previous roles include serving for the United Way of Greater Kingsport, the Tennessee Association of Community Leaders, and as you can gather, many more. In 2021, she was selected as the Educator of the Year from the Tennessee Association of Community Leaders and Leadership, while Kingsport simultaneously was selected as the Program of the Year. And she's also a recipient of the Impact Award in 2023 from the YWCA Tribute to Women. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Vanessa serves as a Small Business Award judge for communities across the entire nation, and she provides training and sessions for nonprofits and councils while she continues to learn and further develop her capacities by completing programs and certifications as if she needed to. Vanessa has 2 children, Michaela, McKinley, and a grandson, Kyler. Notice there's a big K in each of their names. And Vanessa says that when she thinks of her family, they are the most cherished part of her life. To me, ladies and gentlemen, multidisciplinary excellence is the key to being a respected leader. whether on a sports team, a business organization, or a community not-for-profit organization. Vanessa Bennett is truly a leadership authority and a multi-dimensional treasure to Kingsport, to Tennessee, and indeed to our nation. Kiwanians, please welcome her.
Thank you. My goodness. If you ever want to feel good about yourself, have Mary Lee introduce you. My goodness. So I am going to talk about some of our programs that I lead at the Chamber. And I thought about when we put this title up there, Developing Leaders, we're all leaders in this room of some sort. I need to change it to Developing Community Trustees or keeping those trustees engaged. So when I go through these things, you'll see some of that. I look around the room, I see a lot of you that have participated in some of these activities. And if you've not, here's my chance to rope you in to help us as well. So I want to start with this, maybe. Oh. Hey, it's not working. I need help. Okay, perfect. So, spark plug. You can see that these just describe a person who is energetic and lively and who gives energy to an activity involving others. Most of you think of a spark plug as something you have in your cars, right? Not me. This is what I call my team at the Chamber. And most of them... This is... There we go. And these people are with me in the room today. You're going to see all of these activities that we do. I may be at the front of the room. I may be leading. I may be in the pictures or whatever. I could not do the things that I do without this bunch. Laura could not be with us today. She's got some other activities going on. She's our Senior Director of Government Relations and Workforce Development. Destiny is with us. She's our Healthy Kingsport Director. Alicia Shoup is everything I do right by my side, but she has a title of Accounting and Operations Manager. And then Madison Miller, the most smilingest person here, is our First Impressions Coordinator. And all of these people may have their own individual titles, but what I love about this group is we all interchange and be able to do things together. So thank you, spark plugs. So when you see them, you can call them my spark plugs. So we're going to go over some of the things our leadership programs do. So when I sat back and looked at what do we do to make a difference in our community, first is civic understanding. We want people to hear about real life opportunities, struggles, and successes that face our city. Has anybody ever read comments on Facebook? Yeah, they're not great sometimes, right? We want to be able to be the voice for our city to communicate these things to our leaders, to the people and these participants about what's really going on, to help you understand. We sit down with our mayor or our city manager or our alderman to let these people know what they may be reading on social media may not be the case. What they don't know, they don't know. We try to clear that up. We also celebrate successes. And I don't know if you've seen some of the news here lately. We've got many, many great things to be proud of in this community, stringing from bringing new things here, new people moving in, whatever it may be. We want to share those things. So we want to get these people under a civic understanding mindset. Relationship building. We say that we herd cats a lot, but the more people you know, personally and professionally, is a win. So we like to be that community connector. We get to meet a lot of people, but we want the people in our programs to be able to build those relationships as well. Collaborative leadership. When we have a diverse group of participants in our programs, we let every voice be heard. We have different perspectives. We have different business sectors, and we can bring all of them together and collaborate, and what a win that can be for some of our programs as well. Civic readiness. We want the people in our programs to go through and then to give back civically. We want them to join Kiwanis. We want them to go out and do these volunteer opportunities that you all are talking about. And a lot of them don't know how to do that. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. So we kind of help lead that and connect those relationships as well. So some of our programs, the first one is Leadership Kingsport. How many of you have participated in a class of Leadership Kingsport? That's fantastic. Now, the ones that haven't raised their hands, we do have applications right over here with Alicia. So what Leadership Kingsport is, it's a almost year-long program. We go August through May every year. Applications are now open. This is 30 to 35 business members in our community that we create a class. So right now we're getting ready to graduate the class of 24. We have actually 2 people in here that will be graduating soon. Go ahead and stand up. John, 3. We have 3. And Destiny, 4. My goodness, that wasn't even planned. So they will be graduating here at May. They've almost completed their program, and then we're getting ready to put them out in the community to do great work as well. So what happens is you apply, you go through an interview process. If you're selected, then we get you from August to May, and it's a whirlwind. The ones that just went through, it goes by super fast, right? But every program day is focused on a different topic. One day we do education. One day we do healthcare. One day we do diversity, and so on. And we do anything and everything around that subject. We have amazing speakers come in. We go do volunteer projects around that topic. We go on site visits. We go tour industries, maybe on Economic Development Day. We visited the hospital. Of course, they had to put all of the stuff on. Zane, you'll be glad that we had an agricultural day. And if the funniest thing on this past day, we had a gentleman that moved here that had never seen a cow, like up close, like he'd passed on, but he had never been able to go. And just watching that, talking about getting outside of his comfort zone, it was the best thing. So it's those opportunities that some of these people, as simple as seeing a cow up close, that may not get to experience. The retreat we did, I do have to tell you, is on the far end. We went to Brushy Mountain Penitentiary. I'll give you that whole story later, but it was a fantastic trip. And then they also completed a community impact project. So that program has been going since 1983, still going strong. And I actually have my chair in the room, Miss Jessica Poor. She does a lot of our leadership development in that program as well. We are accepting applications. Alicia has those. And then we'll get started very soon. We've not put it out yet, but the graduation for this class of 24 is coming up on May the 9th. I will make sure to send you all an invitation. Our speaker, we always have a keynote speaker come in. We've not announced it yet, so you all get to be the first ones to know, is Joe Baker. Does anybody know who Joe Baker is? Who is it, Miles?
He's the owner and operator of Hall Brewery, Distillery. He's also a very likely candidate.
And he will be coming to Kingsport to speak. So we'll make sure we send that information out. Hold on, it went too fast for me. So next is...
Hey, that's us at Tennessee Hills. It's Old Smoky.
Oh, Smoky, you're right.
Tennessee Hills earlier this week.
He gets them all confused. It's fine. So our next one is Shout Youth Leadership. This is students helping others understand tomorrow. Very similar concept to Leadership Kingsport, but this is for high school students. So you can see where they're sitting down there talking to Chris McCart. We took them to Girls Inc. to do volunteer projects. They were with Destiny at the farmers market with Healthy Kingsport. They're at the Inventor Center downtown. So we have different themes for each day for these high school students, just a smaller scale than our leadership program as well. If they complete Shout and still want to go through to keep serving our community, they can apply to be on our Mayor's Youth Council. They will then serve the entire year. This group works on volunteer projects together all year. They may decorate the mayor's Christmas tree every year in downtown, which is always a treat. They lead our pledge and invocation at the State of the Chamber. State of the City. So that was a very big deal. And then, I don't know if I remembered, I didn't put that picture up there. They also escorted Governor Lee in when he came and did the Construction Trades Institute ribbon cutting. So that was a nice treat for them. And then I think one of the most important things they do when we have a Board of Education candidate forum, they lead it. That's that top picture. They ask the questions, they MC it, they handle everything in it, they do the timing. I introduce them and I just sit back and let them do it. These are high school students, and it's the biggest BOE forum that we have with attendance-wise, but it's a great time for them to get involved in that civic process as well. Scream. The first thing I want to say about this, if you have been or know somebody that has been a middle school teacher, tell them I said they don't get paid enough. This is always an interesting week. Everybody in our office knows that when I have the middle schoolers there, they may be a little bit louder, a little bit less attention span, but we don't want to wait until they get in high school to be able to teach them leadership development. So we pull them in for 3 days, not the week, not the year, 3 days. So it's a little bit shortened version, but we have a great time with this group as well. We did take them to the sheriff's department. We didn't leave any of them there. And then so we've done other things with them too. So both of these programs are also open for applications. So if you have a middle schooler or a high schooler that's interested, let us know. She has applications for that as well. Next is Peak. So we've started with the adults. We've done the youth. Now what's right in the middle is our young professionals. This is probably the group that keeps me the most busy. But it is a great group, and they're all about getting out and helping our community. Here's some of the activities we've done. We spread Easter eggs out for kids across the city. We go to do volunteer projects. The bottom right-hand picture, we just welcomed Jess Lee, a country music artist in town a few weeks ago, and she did part of her music video taped right here in Kingsport that will be put out soon. We're very excited about that. We have socials. We have things for the community. We've noticed that a lot of people in that YP realm are single people that just moved here. We want to keep them busy because if we don't, guess what happens? They leave. We also have the other side of that is they have young families. So we're trying to incorporate things for them to do as well. So you can see that we rented out the carousel and we just welcomed anybody and everybody that wanted to bring their kids for free rides, cupcakes, art activities. So we've had to be very intentional on timing for these YPs. Some people want early morning stuff. Some people want lunch. Some people want after hours. So we have to offer everything because we need these people. We need them to stay here. We need them to raise their families here. We need them to join Kiwanis. We need them serving on our boards and committees. So we're very intentional on that. We've had a great year. We just had our first YP Day on the Hill. I attended the State of the State as a guest of our comptroller, Jason Mumpower. So we're trying to get some things done, and that group is growing. One thing with Peak, there's no age limit because the age typically is 21 to 40. I'm a little, and maybe a lot over that. But if anybody wants to come and help, because I love the diversity of the different ages in that too, because we can learn from each other. And there's no fee. You just come to our events. It's very simple. Lead Undivided is our newest program. It is based on diversity, equity, and inclusion. But the simple way that I want to talk about this is we just want Kingsport to be welcoming. We don't want to turn anybody away. We want to welcome anybody that may come into our city to make them feel welcome here. We don't care their color, their sexual orientation, their creed, whatever it may be. We just want you to make Kingsport feel like home. So we have events, we have educational opportunities. We try to be inclusive to anybody and everybody to let everybody have their voice heard and to be happy here. This is a happy place. We want people to feel happy being here as well. One thing that this team does is we do lead the Juneteenth activities. So that's the schedule for this year. You'll be hearing more about that soon. Some of the other things that our leadership programs have done, we have motivational series, luncheon and breakfast events. Here's some of the people that we've had. Jim Bradford and HK Derryberry. HK is blind. He has cerebral palsy. This is his friend, Jim, that he met when he was a little boy. He's now motivational series, and he is probably one of the happiest people I've ever met. He came, flip over to Tim Harris. He has Down syndrome and was the first person Down syndrome to open up their own restaurant in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He came out. He gives people hugs. He sold hugs when he came for $5. But then it went back to a charity. And Miles, do you want to tell them I want you to tell them the story about Tim, because you tell it much better than I do.
We had him come speak to our staff in the Eastern boardroom. At the microphone, all of our staff was captivated by his remarks. I filmed him when he said this. He said, a lot of people came to my parents and apologized to them. I'm sorry for them. I was going to be born with Down syndrome. That was before they knew how awesome I was going to be. He was awesome.
And he is awesome. I still get messages from him at least once a week. He's trying to get me to find him a girlfriend. So if anybody knows a girlfriend for Tim, he will oblige. But it's just those feel-good moments. Everybody wants to feel good, right? So we love to bring these people in because the adversities they have faced is just unimaginable. But the joy they bring, we all need it. I know I sure do. Woody Williams was a Gold Star Medal recipient. He has since passed.
That's a Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor, sorry. I always say Gold Star. Medal of Honor. Leave it to the Colonel to correct me on that one, right? But we had him in. We had several Gold Star Medal of Honor recipients in, but this one stood out to us. I think he was our first, right, Miles? And he came and spoke at Food City on Eastern Star. It was a fundraiser type for Leadership Kingsport. And when he left, he cost $5,000. We paid it. We had people come in. Well, at the end, he said he was going to give that money back to us. And I was like, how does that work? I need to get on that more often. But the reason he was giving it back to us, he wanted it to be seed money to build a Gold Star Memorial Monument. And if you know the one that's built out here next to Veterans Memorial, that's how that was built. So before we left the room that day, we had several sponsors step up and say, I want in on that. I will tell you, Miles and I have to raise a lot of money. We work for a nonprofit. That was the quickest $80,000 I think we've ever raised. And it was a beautiful thing. It makes my heart smile every time we go by there. Woody passed, I think, a couple of years ago, but he was a remarkable man. He was almost 100. But the things he did and the things he started here was priceless. The most recent person we had here was First Lady Maria Lee, which was just a couple of weeks ago. She has a project that she started called Tennessee Serves, and she wants to give back to her communities. So she came up, and she will tell you she's not a public speaker. She's not a politician. She doesn't feel comfortable talking to the public. You could not tell it. We had her up on stage. Miles had the honor of interviewing her, and she talked about her story and why she thinks it's important to give back to our communities. We had sponsors for that event, and working with her and a group called Operation Gratitude, we were able to raise money for the event. Nobody paid to come. Had a full room. We had so many sponsors that we were able to give $1,000 back to the Ballad Health Nurse Foundation, Sullivan County EMS, Kingsport Fire Department, Kingsport Police Department, and Sullivan County EMS, all of their employee funds. We gave them $1,000 each, which was phenomenal. After the breakfast event where Miles interviewed her, we went in another room, and everybody in that room came in and volunteered, and we packed care packages for our first responders. So we had a whole group in there, Maria and her team. We even had the vice president of Normandy, France in the room packing these packages, which was amazing. And then we got them all packed, and then we went downstairs and we invited all of our first responders from our area to come pick up their care package and a lunch. So we were able to give 200 care packages out and 200 lunches to these first responders as well. So yes, we had this event, but what we could give back thanks to our sponsors was incredible. So if you were a part of that, thank you very much. It was a very, very special day. So what's next? You can't see that, but that's a shirt that I think I'm going to get my spark plugs that says "Put me in, Coach," because we're already ready to do the next thing, and they're all rolling their eyes at me right now. But what's next? So Encore. David Oakes, do you remember what Encore is?
It's been a while.
It has been a while ago. So when I first took over the leadership programs, we had a program called Encore, and our team is ready to bring it back. So we've got the YPs, we've got the high schoolers, we got the middle schoolers, we got leadership. I'm ready to pull these senior adults out to help us get things done. Because you have knowledge, you have the expertise, you have the passion to still do things, and we need you. So we're going to kick back a little bit different way an Encore Senior Leadership Program. So stay tuned for that. A dream of mine that we're just now talking about is Leadership Northeast Tennessee. We want to do a regional leadership program as well. So stay tuned for that one. That's going to be a big undertaking, but we think we can do it, and why not start it right here in Kingsport? We start it, people will follow. So I'm very excited about that. Some of the other things that our department does, not really leadership programs specific, but all of these programs in my group, we intertwine with each other. The chamber operations, my team is responsible for that. So kind of like yesterday, we had a leak in the kitchen. Our team handled that, and I got mad. I looked at Miles and said, I feel like this is my house, and I have a leak we have to fix. You don't like it when those things like that happen, but we like to take care of our own. We handle all of that. Madison runs our front desk, and how important is that? We love her title, which is the First Impressions Coordinator. We want people to have a good first impression of our chamber, but more importantly, Kingsport when we come in. So we handle all of that as well. Education, workforce development. You can see how all of those leadership programs tie into that. We're very focused on CTE education, work-based learning. I'm talking Mary Lee's language right here. She's up here smiling. But anything we can do to increase our workforce, we're there at the table, because I don't know if you've heard, everybody needs workers. So we're doing all we can to support that as well. Government relations, Laura leads a great program there as well. She is known locally, state, and federally. So we have great relationships with that to be able to do all these other programs as well. And of course, Healthy Kingsport. Destiny focuses on three things: healthy schools, healthy workplaces, and healthy communities. We're making small starts, but we're also doing big things in that realm as well. I'm very, very proud of that. Zane, thank you for your continued support of that program as well. And of course, Mayor and Darrell is too. We have support from our county and city, which is very important for that program. So put me in, Coach. We need people. We always say when you work for a nonprofit, you need two things, and that's money and people, right? I'll find the money somehow. What I need is people. We talked about developing leaders. We need to develop community trustees to be able to do all of the great things that we're doing. That's all I have. What questions do you have?